Here we go with the oil change on my 2005 ZX6R. I'm not going to show you how, but these fairings come off first to make it heaps easier. This is the belly pan, the bottom goes in there. We got that off. What else have we got here? We got side fairings. You probably don't need to take that one off because this is the left hand side and it's not obstructing anything. But anyway, I've got mine off for other reasons. This one here is the right hand side, and that goes right there, and that is probably a good thing to take off because then you can get to this guy here, which is the oil filter, and you see that a bit better. Yeah, that oil filter needs to come off, so it's a lot easier to get to. The drain bolt is under there, and that's easy to get to once you've got that bottom fairing belly pan off. So we'll get into it. Step one is warm up the bike so the oil flows a bit better and it all drains out nice and easy. Once you've got access to it, the drain bolt is on the bottom of the sump, bottom of the engine. You get the fairings off, you've warmed it up, you can go ahead and crack that open. Now that it's cracked, you can let the oil out. While the oil is draining, we can take off the filler plug and let the air circulate through. The next thing we need to do is take off the oil filter. Okay, well the nut that was on the end of the oil filter stripped straight away, so I couldn't undo it. I tried putting some kind of big clamps on it, but ended up putting a hole in it. So I'm going to try the old screwdriver through the filter trick to unscrew it because it's so tight. Must have done it up too tight before. I'm not going to blame anyone else. Come on, you can do it. Ah, got it. Great success. That is awesome. I hate doing that, but it's the only way I know to get a filter off when you don't have a filter wrench. Maybe I should buy one. Buy one of them filter wrenches one day, eh? Probably be a lot easier than busting holes in filters to get them off. Anyway, there it is. A bit more oil comes out of the filter. It's the old one with holes in it. So with this new filter, we want to put a little bit of oil around the rim of the seal there just to lube it up. So when I screw it back on, it's It sits on there nice and smooth. And just go ahead and screw that back on. I think hand tight this time is good enough. It's slowed down to a few drops, so now we need to put the drain plug back in, remember that, and top it up with the right amount of oil. Let's put that drain plug back in. Just a little bit of pressure, not too much. Just to make it a bit easier and knowing exactly how much I'm putting in, I like to use this little oil measuring container. Just put in 1 litre at a time and then you know exactly how much is going in the engine. Now after 3.5 litres, you can see the sight level is already showing in between the two lines, low and high, so that's a good sign. I'll start it up and let the oil cycle through the engine a little bit, and we'll recheck it and just top it up if needed, but I put in 3.5 litres and it says it needs about 3.6 to 4 depending on how dry you got it when you emptied the oil, so we're well within the spec and we haven't overfilled it, which is the main thing. Now put the cap back on. And start it up. Okay, we'll go ahead and start that up.